YouTube! ¿Qué pasa? Welcome back to another Bleach Brave Souls video on my channel. Right. So today, I do just want to share a few pro power tips. Let's just call it like that. Just a few tips which I would have liked to have known before starting the game. And I want to help some of the newer players out there avoid some of these mistakes and be able to, well, start the account in the best way possible, right? So to avoid certain mistakes where others may have been, including myself, right? Like a lot of the mistakes I'm going to be showing right now and how the hacks actually work are a few things where I tapped into myself and only found out later, right, that's how it works and that's how it functions. And some of these things may not even be covered in like general beginner guides, since these are like a bit more specific, let's just say like that. Right, so the first thing is actually when you have a character, right? Say for instance this Uryu, right? You got this Uryu now, and first of all you're wondering, what is he? Is he like an SP based unit? Is he an attack based unit? Because there are two different character types in the game, right? You have SP units and you have NAD units, right? NAD units are characters that focus on normal attack damage, and SP based units focus on are characters that focus on using their special attacks, right? So if you ever have a character and you don't know what is with the character, a base rule of thumb is their base stats will always be higher depending on which character type they are more inclined to. So if it's an SP based unit, their base SP stat will be higher than their base attack stat. That's basically how you 9 out of 10 times gonna safely find out if it's an SP based unit or not, right? That's like the first thing. Second thing is, look at the soul trait. If you have something like strong attack, recharge time minus 12%, it's an SP based unit. Rarely an attack based unit has that skill. Well, there are some characters from 2016 and 2017 that may have these kind of traits. However, back then a lot of things did go wrong. Now, one thing to note is if you have an SP based unit, right, and you know these Transcendence slots, say for instance you have an SP based unit, you always want to start with SP, and then you want to go focus, and then you want to go attack, and so forth, depending on how many dupes of a character you have, right? So say for instance you messed up majorly. Say for instance this attack, I want to remove it now because it's an SP based unit. You want to ideally go with SP then attack, SP and then focus and then attack, right? So in this case, just for the sake of the video, I do want to show you guys how to clear this because that's not really shown. So what you want to do, and I didn't even know this back in the days. Back in the days when I started the game, I used to think attack is always good, right? And I used to give every single character the attack transcendence slot in the hopes of that will basically increase the damage output of an SP based character. Like I didn't know that stuff, right? So what you want to do is, if you ever have made the mistake that you gave a character a slot which you find months later that you should have done it different, there is help. You can reset it. How do you do that? You basically choose the slot you want to reset. So say we want to reset the second one, you press it and you hold it. And then the game will ask you, do you want to use coins to remove this basic stat from this slot? You say yes, it costs 8 million coins, but hey, it's only coins. And then the slot will be empty again, and you will now be able to set a different thing. We're going to be setting focus on there because that's where it belongs. So SP and focus. And that's basically one of the first tips I want to share with you guys. How to reset the Transcendence slot. Very easily done and can save a bad build very, very well. Right, another little secret tip, let's just say like that, is did you know you are able to do one co-op quest a day for free? And what I mean with for free is, obviously if you join any of these co-op quests and you just do a ×1 run, they are always free because only the host of the room will actually have to use a ticket to host a room and to actually start a quest. Anyone that joins and just does a ×1 run will be able to play for free. So that's one of the things. However, once a day, every player in the game will be able to join any lobby or any room of a quest which you already completed once. So for instance, we check this Inheritance Trial Ultra. Now, if I try and join a room, right? Let's see if there even is a room available to join. That's the first hurdle, right? You gotta find a room where you can join. Right, so we join the room. Now, once a day, you are able to do a ×5 run for free. Now, if you see this, I am ready, and it says 0 tickets are being used in a ×5 run. And this is actually one of the fun things of the game. You have the ability to do every day a single ×5 free run in co-op. Now, in this special case here, I don't know if the guy will be able to carry us. Regardless, it's a free run. It's a free ×5 run. We have 3 super pot units, and that's actually a very good thing. For instance, why is this so useful? For example, a new week started, and you have your weekly quests where you have to, I think, do 5 co-op quests, complete 5 or 10 or 15 co-op quests or something like that, and you get a certain amount of tickets. I think you get up to 25 tickets a week for free, right? And say, for example, you use all of your tickets already. You've been doing, I don't know, points event, you've been doing anything. It's a nice little extra gimmick to actually get a few more tickets in by just completing one free co-op run every single day, and that way basically be able to recover a few more tickets. And that is another trick, and that's why I usually do every day. I usually every day try and do at least one single ×5 run for free to be able to collect those free tickets. And yeah, it basically a lot of times got me the chance to do even more runs later on ahead with point events and stuff like that when I'm farming. It adds all up because at the end of the day, I like doing point event without having to spending orbs on it. Obviously, spending orbs on it isn't that bad, but I really don't enjoy spending orbs on point event, even though it probably returns the value, right? And I mostly try to do it completely free without having to spend orbs. And that's why this is such a nice little gimmick, and that's another pro tip right there. Right, another power tip is regarding Chronicle Quests. So, as you all know, Chronicle Quest is obviously one of the fundamental things that you should be farming every single month. Like, you should never leave it out, since the things you can buy from the Chronicle Quest exchange shop are very, very important to max your characters out later on. So, definitely farm Chronicle Quest, right? Now, in order to get the maximum out of Chronicle Quest, you have these bonus units, right? And with these bonus units, the drop rate amount of these little fragments which you get basically increases, right? So the speed chat will basically increases times 100%, and these two at the bottom will also increases. Now, hypothetically, you're a new player, right? And you may have one bonus unit. Say, for instance, you have this Chad, and you have been fortunate enough to actually pull 2 or 3 dupes of this character. Then here is a tick. If you use every single one of those dupes, it basically counts as a second a bonus character. So you could run a 6-star chat and a 5-star chat in your team, and for example 1 Orihime, and that's it. You have yourself a full team with 3 bonus units, which will basically increase the fragment drop rate by 100%. The same thing, by the way, also applies to point events. Now, if you're farming point events, and you're basically needing these bonus characters. Now, in my case, I already have 4 bonus units, right? But say, for example, Well, I have 6 bonus units, but say for example you need you only have two, like right, you only have this Chad and I don't know Artbook Ichigo, and you're missing the other two. However, you're summoning and you're able to basically get a few more dupes of Artbook Ichigo or this Chad. Then suggestion is to always keep some of your dupe characters instead of selling them or instead of straight up feeding them, because you never know if you're short of like a huge amount of characters in your account and the next point event comes and you see, right, you need this chat and suddenly it says 4 of 4, but you only have like, I don't know, one Chad, one art book, and one Nell, and you're thinking, right, where is the fourth character coming from? Look into your inventory, because if you have a separate Chad, then that will basically be the missing bonus unit, which will count as a separate bonus unit on top of that. And that's why it's also important to keep dupes of characters and not always selling them straight up or feeding them straight away. Like, I personally don't like keeping dupes, but I do also have a huge amount of characters already with a high character completion. However, especially for newer accounts, I very much recommend so not to always sell your dupes or feed them straight up into the character. Rather than that, if it's not like a meta breaking unit or a character which you desperately need or want 505, then keep your dupes, because you never know. You may have to use them for future point events and they may come in handy. And that is the third power tip which I'd like to share with you guys. And I'm going to be continuing this series onwards and going to be showing little tips and tricks which are not always very apparent, which the game don't even tell you about. Like, the game didn't tell you in no instance that you have a 3x5 run every day free in co-op, right? Or that separate characters in Chronicle Quest count as that dupes count as bonus units, right? These are things, well, you gotta know them by playing the game and yeah, just being attentive to the game. And I hope this video was helpful to some of you all out there, some of you newer players starting the game. If you have any questions or video suggestions, then do drop a comment down below. Let me know what you would like to see on the channel. And yeah, as always, thanks for tuning in. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys next time.